You, is this to see if the white works? Do we need a check, camera check? That's what we used to, I don't know, does that still happen these days, that you have to? White balance, okay? I should have brought my glasses, can't read it.
Make sure you don't look like a smartphone TV.
All right, I know. All right, I just want to thank everybody again for making it out. Hard to believe we're starting off year 16. This is a profession that if you can last for 5 years at anymore, it's pretty darn good. So for being year 16, I feel I'm very fortunate and excited for another season. So you guys can start firing away with questions if you like.
Jeff, what is different about year 16? And I don't mean like as far as a team, but like the expectations that you've built, the way the program is, and where you're at now heading into this year.
No, it's great. I mean, I've said it all along for the past few years. I mean, I'd rather be sitting here with expectations than concerned about, am I going to have a job? I love the question, and we get it often, and I understand. When are you going to get over the hump? I'm like, just come out and ask a question. When are you going to win a national championship? Because that's the only hump that there is. So I'm okay with that question. I think it's great that's even a question, because it's not long ago here that was not even a thought. But it is it is something that we strive for. It's something that we're practicing for and working for every single day. And it just hasn't happened yet. But it's not something I'm going to apologize for and say, hey, sorry that we've only gone to 4 Final Fours. Sorry, we've gone to however many Elite Eights. I think it's 7 now Elite Eights, and I'm really sorry about that. No, I mean, do we want to win the damn thing? Of course we do. I promise you, we work hard every single day. We're busting our butt recruiting. Everything we can do to hopefully cut down those nets. And that's our goal. I've said it, I don't know how many years now. And unfortunately, it just hasn't happened yet, but it doesn't mean we aren't still striving for that.
You coach with 8 new players on the roster. How are they kind of blending in with the rest of the team, and how's that transition going with them?
Well, it's been great. I mean, you add 3 that are grad transfers, so they've been through it. We've got CC Chrislin Carr, you've got Morgan Jones, who both played in the ACC. So they're familiar with us. I'm familiar with them. Then you bring in Josie, she's blended in great. She's just a wonderful young lady, is really mixed well with our team, and has been doing some really good things on the court as well. So when you're adding 22-year-olds, it makes it a lot easier. They've been through college. They've been through the practices. Now, it might be different in some ways. The intensity that we go at, the expectations are a big difference. But overall, everything has been great. And then we add our freshmen into the mix that are learning as they go, because it is a definite change for them. It's every single day you have to come prepared to work. You've got to lay it on the line. You can't take a day off. And they're learning those things. But they're a great group. They want to be good. And they want to contribute to this team any way they can. If that's in game's great. If that's in practice, it's great. But as I tell them, the wonderful thing about this is everyone's going to get the opportunity. You get an opportunity every day in practice to come in here and show me that I should be playing. Coach, you're going to have to play me because I'm performing. And it's not all about scoring points, but it's a great group. I said it last year, I'll say it again, it's going to be a learning curve. What you see on November the 7th, I hope is not what you're going to see on December the 5th. What you see on December the 5th, I don't think it's going to be what you're going to see on January the 1st. We've got to continue to get better and get better, and that's for all of us. Because we did graduate 3 starters who were pretty darn good. But we do add some really talented players, and we have talented players that are coming back as well.
Jeff, when it comes to Morgan, you've scouted her for years, but now you're coaching her. What have you learned about her through that aspect?
She's uber talented. There's no question about that. Athletically, she's as gifted as Angel McCautry. First step quickness, her ability to accelerate, to go from one end of the floor to the other, is really, really impressive. As I told her the other day, we had a scrimmage, and I said, the difference is, Morgan, you wake up good. Okay, she's good. She's naturally gifted, but you came here because you wanted to be great. So I played her 12 minutes in our scrimmage because she wouldn't go hard. Okay, she wouldn't go as hard as I want her to go. Now, she was 5 for 10, had 12 points and 4 boards in those 12 minutes, but it wasn't what I wanted. And she understands it. I've showed her the film. And I'm like, see, you're just naturally gifted. You're able to do that because you've got talents that some don't, but I want more from you. And she gets it because I think she's a kid that can have a huge impact for us. And as she learns to play harder, you're going to continue to see her growth. And what I love about her is she's coachable. I mean, she wants to get to that. I joke with her all the time. She's such a nice kid. I'm like, I need you to be a little bit meaner on the court. Like I told her, I go, somebody could steal the ball from you and you'd be like, would you like it? And give it to them. Somebody could knock her down and foul her and she'd be like, I'm sorry for getting in your way. I'm like, no, we got to get a little toughness in you. And that's what we're working on. But she is, I'm glad she's on our team, and I'm glad if that's the only problem I've got is to try and make her tougher. It's not all that bad.
Jeff, is she somebody that was on your radar as a high school player, or where did the connection develop between you and her?
Yeah, she actually came here for an official visit. She came and visited us and, decided Florida State was where she wanted to go, and had obviously a really good career there. But it was somebody that, it's as I always say in this process, I mean, we can't get everybody that we want, and I'm never one that's going to try to make a kid feel bad if you go someplace else. And, when she called and said she was decided to go to Florida State, same thing I tell all of them. I wish them the best. And I just say, hey, if we play each other once or twice, I hope in that game you suck. Besides that, I hope you're great. Unfortunately for us, she had 28 on us last year. So she did not follow through with that. But the nice thing is she had a chance to play up here twice during her 4 years. She gets to see what the environment is. And I think all of that, along with the success we've had and what we've been able to do with some transfers. You look, Kia, Emily, and Chloe, you can just, and Chelsea, you just keep going through and look at what we've been able to do. So I think she saw that as well as an opportunity for growth for her.
Jeff, you've had a lot of really good players. You've had a lot of great players in your 15 years. When Mikasa graduates, and she's going to go down as one of those great ones, but maybe not the national accolades because she didn't rack up as many points. What does she mean to this team?
It's really hard to put into words what she means. I mean, you have to come and watch her play like you all have, and the effort, the energy, the passion that she plays with. She averaged 3 points a game, I think, this past year. But I had to have her on the floor because of everything else she does. She guards her man and 3 more. She's always talking. She's getting everybody in the right spot. She comes up with the 50-50 ball. She's gotten so many extra possessions during games that's a big reason why we've had the success that we've had. And not only is she a great basketball player, she's a better person. I'd say if you ask me what am I going to miss the most, what are we going to miss the most as a program when she graduates, is just the person. Who she is, what she stands for, how she does things. We were just talking up in my office this morning, just, the expectations that her parents put on her as a kid, how you act, how you treat others. Simple things that it's simple. It used to be expected, and now times have changed. And unfortunately, It's really nice to hear when we're talking. She's like, when I was growing up, if someone talked to you, you were told to look them in the eye. You were told to stand straight up. She's like, Coach, I'll pass some people in the parking lot of the new dorm and they won't even say good morning. I'm like, well, teach them. Teach them. That's what's expected. That's what you do. And that's what I'm going to miss. Because Kaz is just, she's enjoyable to sit down in my office and just talk with and talk about life and what her goals are and the experiences that she's had. And sure, I'll miss her on the basketball court, but that's where we're going to miss her the most.
As a quick follow-up, what do you kind of expect? What has she improved on as far as her game, and you kind of expect from her this year? Will she score more, you think?
I think so. Yeah, she's been working hard on her shot. She's been in the gym. It's not going to be because of the lack of effort. She's putting it in. She's putting the time in. She continues to work. I've seen some progress, seen some improvement. She knows that I've got confidence in her to take shots that she practices. So it's not something where she's out there that she needs to worry, man, is Coach going to take me out if I miss this shot? No, because she's putting in the time and putting in the work. And then because she does so many other things well on the floor too, I have to have her out there for minutes, without a doubt.
Jeff, when you look at this roster, maybe it could be Morgan or someone differently, but do you look at a player or players that you say if they take that next step, you could be back to where you were a year ago or maybe even beyond?
Well, you kind of look at all of them. It's just not, a Morgan or somebody else. I expect Haley, you're going to see improvements from her game. I think she's going to be more efficient on scoring the basketball, shooting percentage, her leadership, her vocalness. I'm not expecting to see her go, from 14-4 to 20, because I don't think we need that. But like I try to challenge them all. It's like, okay, if you're going to get 16 points, can you go 6 for 10 and go to the free throw line and go 4 for 4 and hit a 3 or 2? Or to get your 16, are you 8 for 22? So efficiency is what we're looking for, and we talk to all of our players about that. But I'm expecting Haley to continue to show that growth. Olivia had a really good summer. Peyton Verhulst is one. I challenged her in practice yesterday. I need her to bring it every single day because I think she's 6'1". She can play 2, 3, 4. She's got a lot of versatility to her. She's not afraid to shoot the basketball. Which is a good thing. You go back to our Sweet 16 game. I put her out there right at the end of the first half, and she scores 7 straight. You want kids that have that confidence, but what I've got to have her do is bring not just the physical side, but the mental side of the game. So I think Peyton's one as well. It's a whole list. Liz is somebody that's worked really hard in this off season. Josie's coming here and has shown some really good things that I think our team will benefit from. What we're going to need is just consistent effort. Like I know what I'm getting every night from Casa. There's no question about that. Haley, I know what I'm going to get. O's getting to that point where, and might not be scoring. I'm talking, she's going to get me 10 to 12 boards every single night. O is. I'm going to need her to get up 8 to 10 to 10 good shots a game. But it's like Cece, Peyton, Norika, Morgan. You can go through about 5 or 6. It's like, okay, can you be counted on every single night? To before the game starts, I know I can put this in a box sheet. I can already say you're going to get me 4 rebounds. Now, there might be games you get 8. But it's never going to be under 4. You're going to get me 6 to 8 points. Now you might get 14. But that's what I talk to my players about is who can be consistent, who can be counted on every single night. And I always say when you get to a point where you've got 3 of those, you're a good team. You get 4, you're really good. You get 5, you got a chance to compete, to get to a Final Four and then compete for a championship. And that's where we were at last year. We had 5, just about 5 every single night, and then somebody else would come along the way and do something.
Jeff, when you look at this conference, obviously you and NC State have had some battles. You guys won 4 straight regular season titles. They won it last year. I guess, how do you just describe the matchups that y'all have had, and what does that mean that this year it's going to be on ABC?
No, it's great. I mean, we are going to have some great games. I mean, Wes has done a remarkable job there. We've kind of gone back and forth. I think we won maybe 4 or 5 straight in the conference games, and I think they've won the past 3 or 4. But they've been great games. Our game at their place last year was a great game. The the finals in the conference 2 years ago was a 1 or 2 point game. That's the way it's supposed to be. That's just the way our league is, and I think it's getting better and better. It's not just Louisville and NC State. You've got Carolina now that's really doing some good things. They were really young last year. They're going to be good. Notre Dame is right there. I mean, they had a lot of youth and did a nice job recruiting as well. I mean, it's just you go through Duke and, Virginia Tech, what they've got now in place. I think there's 6 or 7 that could really win our league. And then it would not surprise me if we have 9 to 10 that can make a run at making the NCAA tournament.
Got here just a second or two late, or maybe a minute or two late.
I noticed.
I'll pay the $50 fine later.
But all I want to say is I think Eric is down at the Rotary. He's listening.
He's either
to
at
Josh.
the Rotary or he's at the Bellarmine
Josh.
scrimmage or one of the exhibitions.
Well, if he's at Scotty's, that's okay.
Okay.
If I got beat
By Josh?
by Josh, then I got problems.
He might be at both. He's everywhere. Have you actually heard people criticizing you for not winning at all? Because I heard what you were saying in the very beginning. Have people written to you or is...
Oh yeah, emails and that's okay. It's part of it. Yeah, everybody's like, oh, when are we going to win the whole thing? When are we going to? Oh, it's getting old here, and we've been to Final Fours. I know it sucks. I mean, it's terrible. And believe me, I go home and my kids say it to me too, and my wife does. It's tough. But it's just where our expectations have gotten, which is great. I say it all the time. The great thing, it's like, when are you going to win the big one? And I always laugh at people because I always tell them, what's the big one? Because here, 15 years ago, it was the second round. And then now we get to the Sweet 16, and then it's like, it's a Sweet 16 game. It's like the next one's always the big one. It's what I kind of chuckle at and I laugh about. It's like, there is no hump to get over. When are we going to win a national championship? That's what people are asking around here. And it's a great question. I mean, it's great for the fact that's the question they're asking, because it means we've had a ton of success and consistent success. I mean, I looked it up the other day. I had Matt look it up because for recruiting purposes, I was like, hey, how many teams have been to 4 Final Fours in the past 15 years? Y'all have any idea? 5. There's 5. There's only 5 schools in women's basketball who have been to 4 or more Final Fours the past 15 years. South Carolina, UConn, Notre Dame, Stanford, and us. It's not bad. Granted, do we want to win it? Of course we do. But I'm not going to apologize. I'm not going to sit here and say, hey, I'm sorry we haven't. Because believe me, we want to. And I can tell you, every player that's played in any of those games, the semifinal game, the championship games, they wanted to win too. There's not one of them that stepped out on that court going, hey, let's see if we can piss everybody off and lose today. Yeah, I think it'd be a great idea. Like, we sat in the locker room before that semifinal game. It was like, hey, if we win, everybody's going to be excited. How about we lose and piss everybody off? And I got outvoted. I voted to win. But they said, no, this is more exciting. Like, I promise you that shit doesn't happen. Okay? So our goal is to win this damn thing, and we're going to keep plugging along until we do. And you know what? When the day comes that I retire, and if we haven't, well, damn it, we haven't. Okay? It's all I can tell you. I joke with a few of my friends that, are in the business world, and they'll be like, man, when are we going to win? And I'll be like, yeah, I got a question. Where's your company ranked in town? Where do you stack up in town? Like, well, we're like second or third this, second or third. I go, where do you rank in the country? Well, I don't know. I go, well, so if you were the 4th best in your profession in the country, How would you feel? Well, golly, that'd be great. I go, well, shit, you're asking me when I'll be number one. I want to know, when are you going to be number one? You know? So, I mean, get a few of you up here. I'll rank your stations. You know, where are you? Where are you in town? Where are you here now? Okay? We never asked that. No, hey, I love it. I mean, I'd rather have this than be sitting here going, what, do you think you'll be back next year? You think you'll have a job? How many games do you have to win to keep your job? So I'm fine with this. I think it's great. My players absolutely enjoy it. What people don't know about, like what I love about this job, sure, I'm trying to win championships. But there's nothing better than when you get a text message from Kiana Smith today, who's in Korea, to say, happy birthday, Coach. One and one let you know just, you know, I laughed at her, and she'll probably shoot me for saying it. But she puts in her text, she's like, Coach, all those times we said we missed you when you were recruiting at practice, we lied. We did not miss you. You know, and then, but at the end, she's like, no, just thanks for everything you did. And then I got Jasmine, I've got Emily Inksler calls me from France this morning. You know, that's what it all comes down to. Sure, we're trying to win championships, but the impacts that we're having on these young ladies' lives, at the end of the day, that's what I hold myself. That's the standard I hold myself to. Now, I do understand I'm not stupid. If we don't win games, I'm going to get fired. But our goal is to win a championship, but at the same time to make sure we're growing young student athletes to be prepared for life after this. And that's not a cop-out. I'm not saying we ain't trying to, because we are. But I bring up Chelsea Hall last year and Emily Inksler because the fun part is Chelsea had never played in an NCAA tournament before. Played 4 years of college basketball, never been in an NCAA tournament. And last year when our name was drawn, and we knew it was going to be drawn, it wasn't a secret. But boy, to see the smile on her face, the excitement. That second round game against Gonzaga, Emily Inksler had never gotten out of the second round in her college career. She was as nervous as any kid I've ever had. But boy, when we won that game, you talk about a joy. You would have thought we had won a national championship. And then to see like, hey, we can do more, we can do more. That's what it's all about. And we're going to continue to strive here, hopefully, until we do cut down that net. But I do tell people it takes a little luck too. You got to have some luck. You got to play your best basketball that day. And unfortunately, we haven't played our best on one of those nights yet. But I believe it's going to happen.
I know you've said you get emails a lot about people wanting you to get a big post player as well. You have a taller post this year, and you have Liz coming back. How different will you be as far as in that center position with Josie and Liz?
Well, we have some depth now. We definitely have some depth, and you know, even Olivia battled all last year to 5 and did some great things. Again, the hard thing, Jody, is it's like, yeah, I know everybody wants us to get 6'5". I promise you, if there was 10 Aaliyah Bostons out there, we'd all be trying to get all 10 of her, okay? There aren't a ton of them out there. It's not like there's just this dominant player of the year waiting to just come to your school, okay? And everybody says that to me. I'm like, well, we've beaten a lot of teams that had some 6'5", 6'6" players that are pretty darn good. So I love the Shantae Dyers, the Sarah Hammonds, because it may have been a little undersized, but man, they grind it out and bust their tail, and we've had a ton of success with them. Now, are we trying to continue to get someone a 6'5", 6'6"? Of course we are. But it's just, there aren't a ton of them. But yes, Josie, I'm really, really excited about what she's able to do. She's very patient around the basket, can shoot over her left and right shoulder, has a nice hook shot, good understanding of the game, good patience. Liz has gotten better, so I'm excited for Liz. I'm really hoping she can have a breakout year where she's just confident every single night she steps out on that floor. And then is going to be and then I'm telling you, Nyla Harris is one that I've not had to tell her to play hard. I've got to tell her to slow down some. But she's a kid that's going to go out there, and I think she has a chance to give us some really good minutes and backup minutes at that 4 spot as well.
Coach, on Haley, just recently named second team preseason All-American. Let's talk about the growth pattern you've seen in her since she first got here to today.
Well, nothing surprises me with that kid. That's somebody that if you're going to bet on, I'd bet on her. You know, her work ethic is as impressive as any player that we've had here, and we've had some really darn good players. She wills herself because she prepares like she prepares. You know, success just does not happen overnight. It's what you do when no one's watching. And that's what Haley does. She's in that gym at night. She's in the morning. She's in after practice, before practice, because she wants to be the best. And that's what's fun to watch is nobody on this team would ever question, you know, like, golly, she's getting more shots. It's like, yeah, because she works harder. She's a better shooter. She's able to get her shot. And it's been fun to watch how she's taken Chrislyn Carr, those two. She's kind of said, Chrislyn, come on, let's go. And they're in the gym a lot together. And it's fun to just watch how she's able to kind of lead this entire team. And she's got a great demeanor and really does a nice job of interacting with all of her teammates.
Looking back last week, how important was Louisville Live for you and the program? And I think that's probably the first time since they all three graduated that Angel, Asia, and Maisha were kind of supporting you at the same time in the same spot. And how important is that?
No, it was a wonderful event. I mean, you have to thank our marketing staff, everyone that was involved in putting that on. I mean, you know, you cross your fingers. You know, the weather was as good as we could have asked for. But you've got to put a plan in place, and you've got to have something that's organized. And I thought our marketing staff everyone involved did an amazing job of making sure that what we could control was spot on, and it was spot on. You know, for us, it's good and bad that all three were there, because of the fact the only reason Maisha was there because she had some knee surgery, or she would have been in Europe playing. Asia had hip surgery, or she would have been in Europe playing. Angel still recovering from ACL. So it's like, for us, when your top ones come back, it means they're probably either retired from playing or they're injured. So that's good and bad, but it was great to see them all. I mean, it's just so impressed to talk with them all, to see how they've grown since they left here as well. Maisha, just a joy to see what she's been able to do for herself. And it's, you know, we always talk to our players about, you have got to take advantage of the opportunities that present themselves. And during that COVID year, that year they played in the bubble in Orlando, down there in Florida, there were a lot of players that opted out, and she didn't. And she took advantage of it. And she absolutely had a breakout year. And that has kind of propelled her to what's been going on the past 2 years. So really happy for her. Angel always, you know, she's such a Louisville person. That's what I love about her. You know, she's always tweeting at us, texting, and she just wants to do everything she can to continue to help this program grow. And then Asia's great. I mean, it was great to see her smile and have her back after the battle that she had gone through with COVID. And, you know, for her to be able to be back there on that floor during this season was something special.
Jeff, I was going to say, just speaking of Louisville Live, Alexia came out on crutches. Just wondering, you know, what her, I guess, injury status is, and then if anybody's, I guess, expected to not go this season opener.
Lex would be the only one. She had a little bit of foot injury that's going to take probably a month and a half or so to get back, but it's something that should heal. She should be okay. As of right now, everybody's a go. So we'll see, you know, when November 7th comes around for that Cincinnati game. Hopefully, you know, besides Lex, hopefully we're 100% and ready to play, but the kids are excited for it.
Have you spent much time with Kenny, and what are your thoughts on what you've seen from the men's team?
No, he's great. I mean, his entire staff. I mean, it's really been fun. I mean, Danny pops his head in the gym, and he'll watch them practice. All of them. I mean, Nolan. It's just, it's been fun to see how both of our teams have interacted. And Kenny's a big part of that, you know. And it's one of those where I think when we're all in it together, no matter if it's football, lacrosse, men's basketball, baseball, you know, this athletic department in 16 years, if you look at the success overall from all of our programs, men's and women's, you go to Arthur at swimming, everybody, it's pretty impressive. But part of it to me is we all compete against each other in good ways too. You know, it's like, hey, where are you going to finish in the ACC this year? You know, our men's soccer have a huge match coming up here on Friday, tomorrow night, I believe. You know, I think if they win, and then I think we're all cheering on Boston College, because if our men win and Boston College wins, I think that Boston College plays Syracuse. And if Boston College and we win, then we win the Atlantic, I believe, division for men's soccer. So it's like everybody's competing, but in a good way. And that's kind of what it feels like's back. And that's good for our athletic department. It's good for the teams. I've had the opportunity to stick my head in and watch, you know, coach practice a few times, and they're getting after it. There's no question. So it's. But again, I tell people it's year one. You know, it's going to be a long road. I mean, it always is. You know, I was just fortunate, as I've said it how many times, I got a job here, not because someone got fired or someone didn't win enough games, because Tom Collin had an opportunity to go to Arkansas, I think where he first started, as an assistant coach to be a head coach. So, you know, I get hired and I'm Angel McCautry and Candace Bingham, Patricia Barlow. I mean, there are some pretty darn good players. But I think you're going to be impressed with their style of play and how hard they play. Thanks, guys. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it. Man, tardy.